Yo, 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 yo. We're back, guys. We're back. We are back. Did you miss us? We're back. Guys, as you walk in, please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all code. We do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Like always, thank you for tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio. It is Fresh Start Monday. Akeem, Jordan, what's cracking like it? What's cracking like it? What is cracking like it?
Man, just living the dream, like Jordan say.
Hey man, feeling good, feeling great like we always do. We back at it again. Got to be back with the fellas. We about to get in today, so let's get it.
Yeah, people are wondering how come we have not been seeing you guys go live. Unfortunately, we got other things that's going on within this month, but we will resume back and we will keep you guys pretty much notice when we will be doing our normal live stream each and every day. So stay attention, guys. Pay attention to the community post and community tab because we will let you know the update when we resume back to normal time. But before that, we only go live once a week, which is only Mondays. So and not only that, but doing the way we draw normally our shorts and stuff like that. So we still keep you guys entertained until we get our situation in the back. Until I get situated, then we'll resume back into normal timing. Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the board: Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch. Make sure you follow. It's so very important for you guys to follow us so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to those right now watching us on Rumble and also X, TikTok. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bingo Live, you know we love you guys. Thank you for 60 of you guys right now tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. So we're moving along to sports. You know, NFL was this weekend. So Jordan, what's going on in the sports world, big dog?
Hey, let's get into it, man. So we had NFL Sunday. We had a big game last night. My Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, it was a really good game, but the Kansas City they won 30-17. But after the game, there was a little scuffle that came up into the field. So apparently, the Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch punched one of the receivers, our chief receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster. The reason it happened was is because of Brian Branch. He wasn't getting any calls for the referees. A lot of bullying has been going on during the game, and and the Lions haven't getting any calls. So with that, he had like built up energy, and Patrick Mahomes was going to give him a hand and a slap. A slap on his hand. He dismissed it, and then, I guess Juju said something to Brian Branch, and after that, he punched him in the face. And after that, it was a big scuffle and everything. So later on today, the NFL League has suspended Brian Branch over the scuffle that happened last night. So we do have a clip for you guys. So go ahead, can you play the clip? And after that, we'll chop it up.
There at the end of the game.
I mean, we play the game in between the whistles. They can do all the extracurricular stuff they want to do, but we play the game in between the whistles. We thought we played a great game today, and we'll keep this momentum moving forward.
What just happened there at the end of the game?
I mean, we play the game in between the whistles. They can do all the extracurricular stuff they want to do, but we play the game in between the whistles. We thought we played a great game today, and we'll keep this momentum moving forward.
What just happened there at the end of the game?
I mean, we play the game.
Yeah, so big win for the Kansas City Chiefs, but like I said, it got a little heated after the game when Brian Branch hit Juju Smith Schuster, and now he is suspended for one game. Does have history of being fined with personal penalties in the last couple years, and now I guess he felt salty. He hit him, and now he has to pay the piper of getting his fine. So I'm just gonna start with you, Ronnie. I know you saw maybe a little bit of this game. I know you seen the scruffle. So do you think the Lions safety Brian Branch deserved being suspension instead of getting fined?
I think he deserved both. He deserved to get fined, also suspension as well. Not for one game, but I think for 3 games due to the fact for his unsportsmanlike conduct, because keeping in mind, you got to keep like they should know that even though the team underperformed like the Detroit Lions, which we already thinking them coming into the game against the Chiefs, I thought it would at least been a close game, not to be for them to get destroyed the way they did. You know, it's very upsetting, very frustrating at times when you get mad at the players, and also sometimes you get mad at the opposite side. But Brian pretty much stated that how Juju kept messing with him and the team members kept messing with him, so he felt a certain type of way when it came to aspect of how pretty much how things came across. So when the opportunity came, he let his feelings be alone. And I think the problem with this league today, I think there's too many emotional guys instead of being masculine and understand that hey, it's just a game at the end. We still going on and see another day, because at the end of the day, Detroit Lions still playing very well, and I still see them being one of the people that's going to enter into the playoffs. So him messing with his money in his bag was pretty much uncalled for. Go ahead, I can.
It's never right to put your hands on anybody. So that wasn't sportsmanlike. Let's just get that. People have to control their emotions. So, these games are getting more touch. People, dignity and livelihood is on the line. So I took it as that, But people need to be able to control their emotions and to not do that. So I feel for him, but I think the punishment was correct.
Yeah, for me, Brian Branch, he's definitely one of my favorite players on the Detroit Lions. He does make plays. But unfortunately, what he did, I did not like as well as a Lions fan. I do agree of him getting suspended. He does have history, guys, like I said, with personal penalties. I believe last year against the Green Bay Packers, he strikes somebody with personal foul. And he got kicked out the game. So Brian Branch, he is a passionate player. I love the way he plays, but sometimes his emotions gets ahead of him, and stuff happen like this. So, I just, I think this is his fourth year in the league. He just got to work some of his maturity levels because he is a great player. He is a really, really good player. So, I do. I mean, unfortunately, he won't be playing next week against the Tampa Bay Bucks, which is that's on Monday night. But other than that, I think, like I said, we'll go to the lines. We'll be okay. But Brian Branch, I'm telling you guys, he's a really, really good player. And as long as he controls his emotions, he will be a really, really good player. With the years go by and everything. So Brian Branch, hopefully, this will be your last time getting fined, also getting suspended, and you can learn your lesson. So when it comes to that, you learn your lesson, and people can see how great player you are instead of people seeing the bad side of you not controlling your emotions and you lashing out onto NFL players.
And like always, why I say that Dak Prescott is still the NFL MVP. I don't know about that, but who knows? You know what I mean? These Cowboys, man. Them Cowboys need to say safety like that. They need some safety like that, of course. But the Cowboys are still doing good. But too bad y'all lost against the Panthers, just like the Dolphins did. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Shout out to Heart. We say, Ashe, thank you. Appreciate your support. This God channel surprise. Like, share, and comment, membership, super chat, gifted. This is God channel. I appreciate. I say truth is enlightenment. Shout out to you, Heart. Really do greatly appreciate it. Moving along to money. Money make the world go round. Money makes our pockets fat. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of financial news, big dog?
Let's get into it. Let's talk about these tariffs when it comes to these trade tensions when it comes to U.S. and China. So when it comes to
As
Trump,
the Dow
he is
down
imposing
800.
to impose 100% tariffs on China, and then also what China is doing, they're um they are adding additional, I believe it's additional tariff when it comes to um, trace, when it comes to just shipping, from China and also to America and everything. So right now there's still a battle when it comes to tariffs between China and Trump. And when it comes to this, it's for regular people. When it comes to tariffs, adding tariffs, when it comes to clothes and everything, it's not looking good. So when it comes to us as America and China, they're still in a battle of when it comes to tariffs and everything. It's right now it's not looking good. So we do have a clip, Hakeem. Go ahead, play the clip, and then after that, we chop it up.
178 points after President Trump threatened new tariffs against China. This after China says it will charge U.S. ships for docking at Chinese ports. And China is threatening restrictions on its rare earth minerals. So let's take a look at our interactive stock market map brought to you by FinViz, showing the top 500 stocks there. It's a sea of red, as you can see, as tensions with China have sent stocks tumbling, many of them. Let's go to CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. Kelly, what kind of market response are you seeing? It looks not good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, Liz. And you know, I think the real takeaway for me here is this shows that investors really see this U.S.-China relationship and these threats, new threats of tariffs, as on a different level of magnitude than any of the other country, sector, or tariff threats that we have seen over the past few months. Because investors haven't reacted like this to a tariff threat in going back to April, maybe even May, Liz. And so there are a couple of things that investors are reading into this. One, that threat of a higher tariff with China. Remember, we were back at 145% in April. We're now down to 30% because both sides are continuing to negotiate in good faith. But that higher tariff level, investors start to go, well, what is the Fed going to do with that? Because remember, they don't have a lot of that data that they normally use to make decisions. And when they're going to be meeting at the end of this month with the interest rates, to decide on interest rates again, I actually spoke to a former Fed member who has been in the room before, and he said, look, if I have this information and if we do get a higher tariff level as the president is threatening, my vote would be to pause. And you and I have talked about this before. The market likes interest rate cuts. So that's one reason why you saw them react so viscerally. The second is that we remember what happened under the first Trump administration, this tit for tat tariff trade war. It went for over 2 years. And that's why I've been looking at the sort of meeting on both sides of the table here with a little bit of skepticism, because I was expecting something like this to happen. And so we could be in for a very long back and forth. And then finally, these rare earths, Liz, okay, they are a component of everything from cars to defense weapons to semiconductor chips. And that would impact the AI trade, because I'm talking about NVIDIA, AMD, companies that have been powering this melt up in the stock market. And so if you see them impacted, then that's where investors get nervous. Now, just to sort of put a button on it, what I will say is a lot of the analysts that I have been talking to, they said, well, you know, the president reacted, he has a tariff threat, but justly, because China, by restricting access to these rare earths, they were sort of the ones that made the first move here. And the U.S. just had to react, had to do this as the negotiation goes on, Liz.
Kelly O'Grady, thanks so much.
Yeah, so when it comes to China and, you know, Trump and China, they are still going at it. We don't know where it's going to end. So they might, like the lady said, it might not just take much. It might take a year or two. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on this?
Hopefully now it doesn't take a year or two, because right now we're about to head to the holiday season, and a lot of people get their packages from China. So right now, due to the fact of the negotiations going on between China and the United States, the stock market pummeled over the weekend. Everything is in red. So guys, if you look at this, of course, it's not financial advice. I always speak to a financial advisor. Right now, a lot of people say this is still a good opportunity to buy when it comes to the stock market, because when trade wars are going on, a lot of wealthy people, a lot of investors look at for great opportunity. Okay, what can I invest in? The situation was happening between China and the United States hopefully won't take long for 2 years, Jordan. I hope it'll be done before December, because you know a lot of people are wondering, are very concerned about the fact of will their package come on time? Because right now China at the end of the day needs United States consumers. People fail to realize Chinese people don't really buy their own product. We the one that buy majority of the product. So let's see how things go on as the day goes on. But hopefully this trade war pretty much will end, and the tariff will end before the end of November. Go ahead, I think.
I think that 30% is too low. We need to charge them 500%. We need to combat China, because China is on a world domination. They've been very aggressive. I talked about this all the time. They've been importing their stuff in so many different. They're just dumping cheap products everywhere, and it's taken from American workers. Right now, we're fighting an economical war that we need to fight to the teeth. Our biggest advantage is that we're spenders. They're creators. We need to flip that role. So, one of our biggest resources is education. A lot of kids come here and learn, but they send us products. We like cheap stuff, and that's our biggest issue. So charging them a tariff is going to level the playing field and bring more advancement to us. Because all they do is copy and paste. That's all they do in China. Copy and paste and ship. So I like the fact that we're going on a tariff war. I feel, and don't forget they steal intellectual properties, and if you want to do business over there, you got to allow one of them to have half of your business. So it's asinine.
That is correct. Facts.
Yeah. The thing is about the Hakeem, a lot of people in America they don't care. They like cheap stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. And a lot of people don't like what Trump is doing with the tariffs and everything, charging 100% and everything. So me, I'm more like buy our own, buy American owned and everything. I don't mind spending a little extra money of buying I'll spend a little extra money when it comes to American stuff and everything. Because if we spend here, it'll be better here when it comes to the economy and everything. But majority of people, I just wish people, would just really look at the things, do their research, and also tells their kids, like, hey, when it comes to, look at your toys, look at your clothes, see what it's made of and everything. Everything's made for China and everything. And trying to compare stuff, that's here and also for China and everything. So I think, when it comes to, I hope that, like I said, when it comes to the tariff wars, I hope I'm with it. Hope it don't take a year or two or so, something like that. Hopefully, a deal gets signed really, really soon. But to me, the bottom line, just a lot of people don't care. A lot of people like cheap stuff. I don't get it. People. I don't know why people don't want to change their mind about American stuff here, but it's people like to have cheap stuff, and how the economy's going and everything. People want to buy more cheap stuff. They don't want to see, hey, everything's turned to a different. It's turning different, and we got to start something new. But people just like cheap stuff. I'm just gonna say it right here. I'm gonna keep it at that.
Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Why I say the Cowboys L goes towards the defense. Dak Prescott 2006 MVP. Shout out to Evelyn, that's also in the building. Evelyn Perez in the building. She said hi. Mm-hmm. Moving along to hip hop. Hip hop. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of hip hop news, big dog?
Let's get there. Let's talk about NLE Chopper. So NLE Chopper was with Kurt Franklin's podcast with a bunch of gentlemen, Ray J and also Jonathan Majors, and they got into the topic of about the Bible. And so the reason he went viral, NLE Chopper had his own thing about, talk about, himself about, Jesus and the Bible. He had his own terms. And Jonathan Majors, how he was, Jonathan Majors was talking, wait a minute, have you read the Bible? You need to read it again. And because, Jonathan Majors think what Jonathan Majors was kind of thinking what NLE Chopper was saying was not 100% accurate what he was talking about. But looking at the comments, some people kind of agree with NLE Chopper was talking about. And but yeah, man, this was kind of funny. But we do have a clip, so go ahead, can you play the clip? And after that, we'll chop it up.
Christianity, it's a thing where people praise the Son more than they praise the Father. And that's what I don't like. Okay. Because if we are man made in a likeness, Jesus is our brother. You get what I'm saying? Why would I drop down and praise my brother instead of praising my Father? And that goes back to honoring your parents.
I just gotta say something.
Go ahead.
Have you read the Bible?
I read the Bible. I listen to the Bible. I receive from source straight.
I would say read it again.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question, right, Jack?
And Christian.
Yeah, so with that went viral because I'm guessing Jonathan Majors is not agreeing what NLE Chopper was saying according to the Bible. So let's talk about it. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on this?
Well, of course, everybody, at the end of the day, this is only our personal. I want to make this clear. This is only our personal beliefs and our personal opinion, just in case people might say, "Cause hey, I'm not a scholar at all." But NLE Chopper is actually correct. I know people might not like it, but he actually is correct because Jesus himself always say, "Don't praise me, always praise the Father himself." So he always gave glory to one person, and that is the Father himself. So clearly, technically, what he's saying is absolutely the truth. I have no pushback for NLE Chopper. I know Jonathan Major probably felt some type of way because the simple fact is that's something that he's probably not taught or something that he don't subscribe to, and that's okay. Everybody's pretty much at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Go ahead, I can't.
So I'm gonna agree with you. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but we need to be careful about misspeaking or misspoken around people who have read the Bible. Now, mind you, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I don't think NLE Chopper has read the Bible. Because when you refer to Jesus, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, it's very simple to understand. You know what I mean? The Trinity. So this is why when they wanted to stop him and say, "Hey, hold on, brother, have you read the Bible?" I wanted to say, "Hey, we'll talk about this after dinner," because I'm wondering, like, what's up with you? Because you're not making sense. Why should I? Jesus is my brother. Like, have you read the Bible? Do you know who, like, why Jesus, why he's here for? Who is he for real? So, and that's my point. But this goes to say that it's sad to say it, but there's a narrative that I might push that maybe all these rappers are not that smart.
No,
Like,
but Jesus said himself, "Who are my brother? Who are my mother? Who does the will of my Father?" So therefore, Jesus still after they gave praise to the
yeah.
higher power upstairs. So LLE Chopper is correct. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people in the comments even agree with him. He's correct.
No,
He's
no, no, no,
Yeah,
right.
no.
I mean, for me, I'm
Blasphemy.
for me, I know what NLE Chopper was trying to go. I get he was trying to say. He didn't kind of verbalize it well, when it comes to how he was saying it and everything. But I know what NLE was trying to say, and he was going by, how about people are not respecting their parents and everything. So for me, if I was Jonathan Major, I would have let him say what he just said, and then I would have got to the hey, actually it says this. I know you was going, my brother, but I feel you. You were speaking, but there's some words you probably just said it, you kind of messed up on the Bible when it comes to you saying stuff like that and everything. So when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to Ellie Chopper, I get what you're trying to say. I think Jonathan Major, he had to, really. I know because Jonathan Major, he's a very deep faithful Christian guy. I get all that. But for me, looking at Young Chop, I guess he was trying to say it just I probably would have corrected him after and everything. I would have got my Bible and said, "Hey, it says something like this and everything." I wouldn't stop him like that to a young brother and everything because if you look at the room, he was the youngest one in there. Because you had Kurt Franklin, you had Jonathan Majors, you had another comedian, you had Ray J in there because he was the youngest and everything. So I would have let the young figure speak, and then after everything was done, I would have correct him at the end. That's what I would.
Yeah, but I was like, this is when it comes to religion, it's tough, man. I try not to engage too much, but at the end of the day, like Hakeem stated and we stated, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But guys, let us know anything in the comment. Is LAE Chopper is correct? Or are you wrong? Disagree? Let us know. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to Don. That's in the building. I was never here. Shout out to him. He was in the building. He was over there. Me and Hakeem was hanging out earlier over there on his thing, holding it down on TikTok. So shout out to Don that's in the building. Moving along, you guys already know this is Fresh Start Monday, so we got a lot of things to talk about. First things first, Jordan, what's going on with Stephen A. Smith and Serena Williams' husband. Go right ahead.
So Serena was Hummus, Alexis, or not, I can't even say his name right. He went on First Take on Friday, and he was a guest, and Serena Williams' husband brought out, say, hey, let's talk about you had some marriage advice for him, because earlier this year during the Super Bowl, when Serena Williams was dancing at the Super Bowl at with Kendrick Lamar's, they like not us. Stephen A had this opinion, say, hey, why is your wife there? We're there at the Super Bowl to really kind of sneak this in Drake in a way, and he's speaking his opinion. And so Williams' husband, he heard it. I said, hey, he confronted Stephen A. So I said, hey, let's talk about this and everything. But Stephen A. said he kind of bowed out about it and everything. He really want to talk about it. So we do have a couple clips. So go ahead, I can play the couple slides, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Shannon brought it up, so I'm going there. I'm going to be like, if I'm your husband, I'm like, why are you up there dancing or something?
I wanted my lick back.
Trolling your ex.
And don't you mess up either, because I get my lick back on you too. I bet it like that.
But the Compton connection is the Compton. Yeah, RC, that's what I was going to say. The Compton connection.
She's from Compton.
No, we know.
Like
we know that.
Even if too. RC, you and I both know. Even if she's not from Compton, everybody knows her and Drake were together at one point in time. And it seemed like everybody wanted to get their lick back on Drake.
RC's, what Stephen A is saying, if he was in that situation and now he's married, he's not allowing none of that's happening.
Hold on, no.
That's what he said.
If I'm married and my wife is going to join trolling her ex, go back to his ass. Because clearly you don't belong with me. What you worried about him for and you with me?
I gotta get that lick.
But Shannon.
Well, also, too, Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
well, you know what? Listen, I didn't. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time. But I was
hoping you were going to be here.
I'm not. Oh no, I am not qualified. Married? Right. Oh no, not me. Well, I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified.
I was going to ask, because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, Stephen. No. Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies. And the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies. Yeah. So I generally try to stay in my lane of advice
department. Then we'll talk marriage advice later. I'm running 13 years strong. We got you. Alexis, thank you so much. Athlos NYC 2-night event in New York. Incredible. Can't wait to watch. I'm looking for a Tiffany's crown. Appreciate you, Alexis.
Appreciate you.
And what he means by $1 billion company, he is the co-owner of Reddit. So that's what he means about that. And but go ahead, man. Go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on Stephen A. Smith kind of backing off the marriage topic?
Of course he's gonna back off. Stephen A. Smith, he do stuff to go viral. I tell people that all the time. Stephen A. Smith, he know how to keep the crowd going, and he know how to get people worked up to the point that you see that even her husband respond. At the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith, like I told you, he's just a commentary. He's a commentator, so he's gonna do what he needs to do to make sure to get people engaged, and that's what he did. So even though her husband came out, to me, he didn't need to. At the end of the day, it was his own Stephen A. personal opinion. You can't get mad at the man for having his own personal opinion about the whole situation when it came to Kendrick Lamar. And remember, keeping in mind, they asked him the question. He didn't right out said it. If someone asks him a question, he's gonna answer it. That's just how Stephen A. Smith is. Go ahead, Akeem.
You want to know something? I do think that we need to start being careful about making comments about people's wives. People think that should be a joke sometimes. And people do not forget this is the internet, and you could be disrespecting somebody's wife, and you might think like, oh, hold on a minute. Oh, you think this shit is over? Nah, baby. When I catch your ass, it's something else. That's it.
So you think he was disrespecting him, but he was just Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Ron. If somebody make a comment that's not very savoring, there's some way to make comments like, man, she out there two-stepping. But then when you say, oh, I'm here trolling my ex, I would leave her ass. Like now you're heading into like white men get mad too. They say, oh, he said that? I'm gonna need to check. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's a lot of people might believe or think that that's Serena Husband's wife. His look, his appearance. He might look a little soft and everything, but he wasn't soft when he confronted Stephen A. Smith. When he got to the show and said, "Hey, you got some marriage advice for me." Stephen A. Smith, he said, "Hey, I don't know anything about marriage and all that type of things, all the type of stuff like that." So. Yeah, but when he took his take, back in the Super Bowl by Serena Williams, that definitely went viral and everything. And I know he felt some type of way that Stephen A. Smith said something. That's why he confronted him and everything like that. So, I'm with him. When it comes to if my wife would have did something, and if somebody got a problem, say something like that, got problems, like okay, if I ever see you face to face, wherever you on this show, I'm gonna say something. That's what Serena Williams' husband did and everything. So. I'm with it. I'm with it. If you gonna say it, come. Hey, let's talk about it. What you mean by that. Stephen A. Smith, no, I don't got anything to say about that. I'm like, oh, okay. That just tells you, hey, don't talk about don't be talking about my wife, man. Keep my wife's names out your mouth. Shout out to Will Smith.
Oh, I forgot about the Will Smith situation. It's the same thing, but people are entitled of their own opinion. That's what I say. At the end of the day, it is what it is, man. Main topic on today's show, guys. I think we're going to talk about Israel and her son. Gaza, Israel and her son, Gaza war, peace treaty. Jordan, what's going on with that, man? What's the update on that?
Yes, so big news today. So you guys don't know Donald Trump was in Egypt and he has signed a peace deal when it comes to Gaza and Hamas. So President Trump on Monday wrapped up a whirlwind Middle East trip, signing a peace deal to end the Gaza conflict and calling it an historic dawn of the new Middle East. He received praise in Israel and Egypt while families celebrate the release of Israel hostages and hundreds of Palestine prisoners. So with this deal, we're finally going to see the end when it comes with Israel and Gaza. So we do have a clip. Go ahead, Hakeem, play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Hold on. Damn.
President Trump is participating in an historic ceremony to formalize the peace deal that he brokered between Israel and Hamas. 20 world leaders, including Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, are also there. It comes after the last 20 surviving Israeli hostages were freed from Hamas following 738 days in captivity overnight. We also saw hundreds of Palestinian prisoners released by Israel today as part of this peace deal. Also today, Israel is expecting to receive the remains of 4 Israeli hostages. Israel's defense minister says they're committed to ensuring the return of all 28 hostages who died, saying if Hamas does not, it is a failure to meet the commitments of the peace deal. The ceremony in Egypt capping off a historic trip for President Trump, who also met with some hostage families and gave a speech before the Israeli parliament known as the Knesset earlier today.
Okay. This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news.
Yeah, so this is a big deal when it comes to this peace deal that Donald Trump has signed. So with all that being said, what's your take on this, Ronnie?
No, at the end of the day, the one thing I love about this peace deal is the fact of all these prisoners that have been held hostage are now be able to let go and be with the remaining of their family. This thing has made Trump one of the historic president of all time because they finally came up with an agreement. They couldn't do this under the Biden administration. They couldn't done this under the Barack Obama administration, George Bush administration, Bill Clinton administration. So finally, they able to come up with a peace deal under President Trump regime. Hakeem, this is big. This is big. And finally,
Beyond big.
huh?
Beyond big, but I don't support it.
Go ahead. Why not? Go ahead.
What do the Palestinians actually want? They lost half their land. Half of the population has been decimated. The population, like millions, have passed away over the years. They like Israel have already won. We just watched a genocide right in live TV, and they say this is peace. Come on,
No, it's peace now because that's no longer going to be happening no more. That is done with. That's part of the agreement.
Listen, they're waving the white flag, and this has been systematic genocide in front of us, just like what's going on in Congo and when Rwandan soldiers going over there. We like pillage, crime, taking people's shit, and we want us to validate them. So I'm here saying, for me to say this is peace, it's a no-win situation. It was a slaughter from the get-go. Come on.
I mean, yeah, Hakeem, you do have a point on that. It's ever since we heard about it and everything, it's been going on for like over a year. Been over a year, some change. So, and millions have lost their lives. The Gaza Strip is really gone, and but if you look at this 20, 30 years from now, how history will be written and everything, but the thing is, in the Middle East, they might write a peace treaty deal, but still they don't like each other like that. Even with this deal, they still don't like each other like that. Trump said this is history 3,000 years. I'm not buying it because the deal might be done, but they still don't like each other. Am I right or wrong, Hakeem? They still don't like each other. Yeah. And to me, it's like, they still will try to find a way. After Trump is gone 10, 20, 30 years, it's going to be something up. Unfortunately, in the Middle East, they have a different way of settling their situation when it comes to, not liking a religion, not liking their race in that certain area. Here in the New World, we not a lot about that. We're about peace. We don't want to fight. But over there, they might be cool. We might be cool a year or two, whatever. And then 5 years later, we might hear something happen again. That's how it is in the Middle East. They believe in war, old school war, thousands and thousands of years of war. We don't like you. We going to war. If we can genocide all of you, we don't want one drop of blood of one of you, and it just runs deep in the Middle East like that. So it sounds history right now, but end of the day, they still don't like each other. And I bet you 5, 10 years from now, they'll find some way to say, "Hey, I don't like you," and they'll start to battle each other again. That's how it is in the Middle East.
We just tired of the wars. I'm just tired of them two beefing. To me, them all came to an end. That's what's up.
Hey, they're gonna be beefing. They're gonna be beefing when my daughter have a kid. Ain't that right, Nina? Boy.
Moving on to other trending news, Jordan. What's going on with the Twitch CEO making this comment about Consonant and High Show Speed?
So Twitch CEO says Consonant and High Show Speed are not part of the streaming Mount Rushmore, which is great. And that he only mentioned Kai because Kai asked him the question. So I'm gonna say this again: the CEO of Twitch does not have Kai or High Show Speed as the Mount Rushmore of streaming. And that's his opinion. So hey, we do have a clip on him saying that. So go ahead, Hakeem, play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
It probably should be more historical.
Yeah.
In other words, Kai is big now, but arguably it's like, now he asked me, so I had to put him on there. But arguably it's like, look, you're great, but you can't be on the Mount Rushmore yet.
See, I put, it should be Speed, Kai, Queso.
Right.
When there's so.
Well, initially when I was doing it, because of course part of it is you just don't remember people. And initially I mentioned Speed, and then I was like, oh no, and I swapped Speed out for Queso.
Yeah.
Okay. But of course all the idiots on say, it probably should be more.
So yeah, so that's the CEO his opinion. Maybe he's right. Maybe they do need some more time, man. But start with you, Ryan. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree. When you have two of the hottest streamers right now that people subscribe to, now every time they go live, they get 500,000 people tuning in and watching. When I mean half a million, I'm not talking about adults. Those are kids that tune in to watch. So I think the CEO will have to retract his statement. Now I don't know when. No, this is recent. So this recent video that came out of him stating that, I don't know if he'd be going based on the numbers or based on everything based on hype, and that they not actually lower followers. And then if you go based on that, then to be honest, I really don't know. But right now, High Soul Speed and Continent are the highest streamers out now, and also Mr. Beast. So those three combined could to top the world. Continent just did the Mafia-thon 3, and he did a million. He had a million subs less than a week. So it's just, I don't know what this guy's talking about. But remember, we don't really know what goes on in the back end. So the back end, he might see something that we don't see. Go ahead, Akeem.
Ron, I'm gonna have to agree with you, but the only thing that's a little bit weird to me, like a lot of us wasn't even really like rocking with Twitch like that until Kai was doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I only started watching it because of Kai. You know what I'm saying? So when I tell people like, hey man, like I don't know what kind of situation them dudes is on, like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it just doesn't make no sense how you could say he's not on the route Mount Rushmore and he's hot like chicken grease. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The man's hot like chicken grease, but they saying that the man's not on the Mount Rushmore. We don't even speak about Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross, Kai, ISO Speed. What other streamers do we know?
You know about Aiden Ross is not on Twitch though. He's mostly on Kick.
Kick, yeah.
So he got a deal going on with them. So that's why he's not really on Twitch. High Show Speed don't really be on Twitch that much. He's mostly on YouTube. Continent literally the only one that literally is on Twitch organically.
So it's weird to me, but they say he's not, and he's hot like chicken grease.
He is.
Yeah, I don't get that either. You know, Kai is killing us in the church with the Mafia-thon. Also, I saw Speed when he did this 35-day American tour. I was watching a bits and pieces of it. I was watching some of it on Twitch and some of it on YouTube and everything. And just to see how they just breaking barriers when it comes to streaming and everything. Both ISO Speed and Kai Sanat, they're both doing their thing, and it's amazing. You know, we see with Kai Sanat, him being with Drewski, Kevin Hart. When he did Mafia-thon, he brought Kim Kardashian, and also Mariah Carey. When it comes to ISO Speed, he did a little something with Tom Brady. When it comes to like a mini NFL combine, last I think it was a week. He opened up a premiere at the Coliseum, and Kim Kardashian, her kids was there and everything. Like they were changing the game when it comes to these new generations and everything. And they have, when it comes to fans, like they want to know what they ask in the store, they'll be there 10, 15 minutes. Like a group that's trying to want to touch these streamers and everything. It reminds me of they're rap. They're big. They're not just like rap stars. They're like pop. They're like rock and roll stars. I feel like these streamers they the new rock and roll type of stars and everything. Everybody's going crazy for them and everything, and they just keep on breaking in barriers. So for me, maybe they for the Twitch CEO, maybe they still need to put in some more time in. I'll continue breaking more barriers, but right now, ISO Speed and Kai Sanat, to me, they're the hottest thing right now. And there's DDG, there's Aiden Ross, but there's other streamers, but not like Kai Sanat and ISO Speed. Right now, they are cooking, and they're still trying to break more barriers. So shout out to the boys right there.
Like Joe No heard him say, shout out to him, blessing be upon you. He said, bless, let's be real. Before these brothers, no one was watching Twitch. That's a fact. That is a fact, Joe No heard him. Good point on that one. Moving on to other trending news, Jordan, what's going on with Clarissa Seal and also Papoose getting into the altercation with a comedian?
So there's a comedian named Gerald Houston. You guys kind of see him. He's a guy who might recognize you as a celebrity. He's one of the comedians. Y'all see him going viral on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. That if he see you, he think that you're a celebrity, trying to hug you and everything, and and he's going, that's his content creation and that. Now with the Carisha Shields, he approached Carisha Shield and he was saying he thought that was Serena Williams. And Carisha Shield was like, I ain't with all that. And I guess Pat Poose was there, and it got to an altercation, and it says that Pat Poose allegedly hit Gerald Houston in the face. So we do have a clip, not the clip of him hitting, but we do have a clip of Gerald Houston that he has I think he has blood on his nose, and also Carisha Shield explaining the situation. So go ahead, keep play the clip.
Yeah. What up, gang? See my nose, nigga. Pat Poose hit me with a book.
Pat Poose done hit Cub with a book for running up on him playing them games, man.
Games, bro. Like silly games, you win silly prizes, right?
No, y'all know who this funny motherfucker is.
What up?
A guy walked up to me, and he didn't have a phone in his hand or nothing, and he was like, "Oh my God, there goes Serena, Serena, Serena." And all of us who was around looked at him like, "Bro, what is you doing?" So the dude called me Serena. Now, I never knew who the guy was because he never had a camera. I don't really follow these people pages who do this type of stuff or whatever. But couldn't find out it was a dude named Gerald Houston, I think. He a comedian. And listen, I ain't got nothing against him. That type of content he do, I think he'd have been better off if he just asked me before he came up there and cracked that joke like that, and it wouldn't have been so bad. But the reason why it was bad was, one, okay, sure, you can say I look like Serena, right? But I had copper hair in my hair. Let's be clear. Yes, he be trolling. So after he did that, you know what I'm saying, I told him I'm like, when a guy walked up to me, not Serena. So as I walked off, he continued to press me, and I told him bro, good playing. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here talking to Jay Prince. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here talking to Abdullah Mason. I'm talking to heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying? One, I deal with a lot of people that's irritating. So I'm like, you know what? This dude irritating me. So I'm walking off. He keeps stepping to me. So as he's stepping to me, now, of course, my man, Pap stepped hey, bro, chill out. She said, that's not Serena. Leave her alone. He's stepped to Pap, because this what he do. This what he do. He hell, I did it already. So, one, you done already disrespected me. You already done trolled me. Now, Pap done told you to step off, and now you stepping to Pap. You already know what happened. I don't have to say nothing. Not Serena. So as I walked, I had to say nothing. Y'all, anybody that knows Pat, know what happened. I had to say nothing. Y'all, anybody that knows Pat.
So yeah, so like I said, Gerald Houston, he is a content creator. He goes around people try to say that he's certain celebrities. Some people they take the joke, some people don't like the joke, or sometimes some people don't like it. They try to get try to swing on them sometimes. So so that's what he does. So I'm gonna go with you, Ronnie. Do you think Pat Poose, he didn't know Gerald Houston at the time, but you think Pat Poose was right to kind of defend his girl for going too far of mentioning him of being Serena, but with his content, but it was just a joke.
No, Pat Poose didn't do nothing wrong, because I think I would do the same thing too. But at the same time, Pat Poose got to be careful, because remember, a lawsuit will be coming your way. Sometimes people, see, Hakeem agreed. People will come and they will hit you with a lawsuit. Now you got to deal with civil court. Sometimes you got to know, hey, buddy, Pat, back off. And I want to back off. That way you get security guard to get them out of there. Don't put your hands on anybody. I think guys fail to realize that. Don't try to be manly and put your hands on somebody, because that might end you in a big lawsuit and you might end up losing everything. But Pat Poose didn't do nothing wrong. You messing with Clarissa Shields, say, hey, I'm not Serena Williams. Let's move on. The joke's on you. We get the joke. We get the troll. Let's move forward. But he kept going, and then Papu put his hands on him, allegedly, and then look, he might put himself into some serious trouble because of it. Go ahead, again.
I don't know why that as black people, we got to resort to violence. After you step to a person, like, cause I've seen him before and he's never really got physical with anybody. He's just trolls. You got to contain yourself and not but Pap is known for thinking he could take matters into his own hands. That can't be always the case because you don't know, you might run into the right person. Just
Correct.
You know what I mean? So me personally, as long as a person don't touch you, you just got to keep walking and ignore the person. But all this, I'm gonna put my hands on people and stuff. Like when we get into, like, Pap is almost 50. Like people forget, like we're almost like hitting 50 years old. Like we're in our latter years of our lives, and you are still snuffing people. Nobody can call and go get a case. Like I'm looking for a lawsuit now. Like, come on, put your hands on me. Let me get a lawsuit in the stay away order. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that shit's weird.
Yeah, when it comes to Gerald Hudson, he, like I said, he is a comedian. He does stand up here in L.A. like once a week at this one comedy club in North Hollywood, and he be like he and this content that he does, he been doing this for like 3 or 4 years now, and he got almost a lot of celebrities from DDG, a lot of celebrities, and that's what he does and everything. But for him, he if he gonna do stuff like that, there's like for Papoose, I agree what he did, but you gotta watch out what you do and everything. Luckily, Gerald Hudson, he knows that when it comes to reaction like this, that that either people might like it or people might not like it. If they might try to hit him or might cuss him out and everything. So Gerald Hudson, he's a comedian, he's a troller. That's what he's going to do. So when it comes to a lawsuit, unless again he's really getting whooped or something like that, he might sue. But I don't think he's going to sue Papoose like that. But then again, Papoose, we're in an era that a lot of these goofy people a lot to do with a lot of these skits and everything, these pranks and stuff. So, I like me as an older person, I don't like it. It might bust my skin. But we're in an era when it comes to YouTubers, TikTokers, people that do content. They're gonna try to troll you or try to do something try to prank with you. So, not just you, Papoose, for everybody. Just watch yourself out there. Don't get too physical because if you do, it might be a lawsuit.
Mike Anderson said that I love all the races, but why do black men get so upset like a woman and want to fight all the time? I'm only figuring it because you have been raised by a woman for the last 3 or 4 generations. Oh, Hakeem, I don't know. You agree with that statement from Mike Anderson about the aspect of why men get so emotional due to the fact they've been raised by women for 3 to 4 generations. That's why
I want
they
to.
act.
I'll say this: when you restrain yourself, it's a power. A lot of people don't know when you like restrain your type of self, it's a power that you have because if you control your emotions, you can control that. What's going inside power and everything. It's to me, it's like a special power. Power. A lot of people don't know that it's a special power. If you could constrain yourself, it's a power that you say, hey, you could control everything. And a lot of black men, they haven't mastered it or don't know that it's a type of some type of power that you could control and you have to lash out like that. So for me, if you control yourself, it's a special power that you can have. And when you do that, it makes you a better man for me. But go ahead, Hakeem, what you think?
Hakeem, you read a comment from Mike Anderson? What do you think about it? The comment from Mike Anderson, yeah. What do you think about that comment? Before we move on to the next
Yeah,
topic.
I had to sit back and say, I love all races. Why does black men get so upset like a woman and want to fight all the time? And I only figure it out by you've been raised by a woman at least 3 or 4 generations. Oh man.
Do you agree or disagree?
I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't think it's a single mother thing. I just think that, let's say this, you're gonna have a group of black men who ingrained to take things to a physical matter. Only until we get older, so a lot of us are still in type of an immature mindset. It's only when we get older we start to figure out that, okay, I'm an adult. I shouldn't be like throwing fists, especially around my kids. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? And we don't want our kids to be ingrained to say, hey, get physical. Hey, like this and that. So I do think we could say it's, I don't want to just solely blame single motherhood, because that really not the case. Because I grew up in a 2-parent household and I'm quick to fight sometimes. Or back in the days, I say, hey, let's scrap. My daddy, you know what I'm trying to say, wasn't like that. He went to work and came home every day. He stayed out of people's way, stayed out of people's business. But me,
So
I'm
you
saying,
kind of prove Mike Anderson's point when you're saying that
no,
the other man who's been raised by women are more emotional than the man that's not been raised by women. Because you was raised with your
yeah,
father.
I raised by my father, but I was getting emotional too.
Mm.
So I don't think that solely is. I just think that what we aggress. How about I say this? Lots of time we could blame your upbringing, and I'll land with this. And sometimes if you're around a group of people, you start to mimic what they do around you. So I'm around a bunch of dudes who want to fight.
Yeah, I think it's the environment. I say this. I think it's the environment that most of the black men are raised from. Remember, Papoose was raised in New York, in the heart of New York, where there was a lot of crime going on that you have to fight and defend yourself. So if you're raised in that type of environment, your first reaction is to fight. Your first reaction not to like back away or move back. Because if they walk away and move back, feel like they're soft or weak. So he had to prove himself, especially to his woman, especially a black woman as that. So some men tend to say, I gotta be strong, I gotta be over masculine. So I know that so the guys are gonna step their toes. But go ahead, Akin, you was gonna say something?
No, I'm agreeing with you. That was just like that. I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay. Moving along to other trending news. Jordan, what's going on with Trump saying he may not be going to heaven?
Yeah, so one of the reporters asked him about this, about him about the stuff that he did. Like, said, do you think will you go to heaven? And Trump was really, really, really saying, "Hey, man, all the stuff that I've done, I don't think there's any chance that I'm going to heaven." He was just being real. So go ahead, I can play the clip for Trump, and after that, we can chop it up.
Being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people. And as an example, had the election of 2020 not been rigged, you would have millions of people living just in Russia, Ukraine alone. That would have never happened, and it didn't happen for 4 years. And I knew Putin very well. It was the apple of his eye. All the things I've said would have never happened. We had an incompetent administration. We had an incompetent president. And because of a crooked election, millions of people are dead. And by the way, the Israeli thing was much harder to get settled because of the past administration. Okay? I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven.
Looking at a lot of the comments, like people that don't like Trump, they say this is the only time that they agree with him saying that he probably won't be going to heaven. But go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on it?
Boy, I think Trump ain't supposed to be a comedian. Y'all wrong, man. This man is funny, man. But at the end of the day, who are we to judge if a man gonna go to heaven or hell or not? That's only God's decision, God's decision alone. At the end of the day, like George said, he's trying to make the United States and everywhere in the world more peaceful, more leveling, like a heaven on earth. Trump is a funny guy. He's a funny guy. At the end of the day, we all did crooked in our past. Nobody's perfect. No man is perfect. But who am I to judge the man for the wrongdoing he's doing when me myself has done wrong? Go ahead, I can't.
Man, let me tell you something. This man is a capitalist, and I might want to even call him an atheist. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these rich guys, they don't believe in spiritualism like us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he's just gonna go and do the job and doesn't care what nobody thinks about it. You ask the man if he's going to heaven. Hell, we going to hell. Well, a lot of us are. You know what I'm saying? Fire and brimstone. I thought that was like, oh my God. What kind of question is that?
Yeah, here for Trump, this man is old. He's his thing is like, yo, I did a lot of bad stuff, since living on the earth. So I know that, I might not make it to heaven. But Donald Trump, too, what you got to do is, man, if you want to try to make it happen, repent, 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 repent. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Repent, repent, repent. Last time on today's show, do you know what's going on with former VP Kamala Harris respond to protesters in D.C.?
Yeah, so we see Kamala Harris. She's still going on her little book tour and everything. And while she was on one of her tours speaking, there was a protester. It was going by Palestinian and everything. And when it comes to like a lot of people, when it comes to this, she kind of had enough of it. And when it comes to these protesters, like coming at her when it comes to Palestinians and everything, or a lot of people think like she's still the president. And she jumps up and says, hey, I am not your president. If you want to deal with something, go to the White House and protest there. She said, I'm done with it. She is tired. She is tired. Tired of all these people that say she's the president and do something about Palestine. He said, hey, I'm not the president. If you want to talk to the president, go to Washington, D.C. and you deal with it up there. So go ahead, Hakeem, play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
You are soon enough. And I sometimes think you are right now. President of the United States.
So yeah, man. So I'm guessing that on her book tour, she does have probably protesters coming in, probably do the same thing. It looks like she's just tired of it. So go ahead, Roddy, man. What's your take on this?
I find it to be hysterical how they trying to interrupt this lady book's tour. VP Kamala Harris. People gotta understand something. Even though people may not like her opinion, and not only that, some people still dislike her for trying to run for president, not actually getting the vote she needs to become president. But it is what it is. To me, it's not cool for someone to come to her event and to disrupt the crowd and her whole situation. If you have an issue when it comes to aspect of Washington D.C., go to Capitol Hill because they was in Washington D.C. Go to Capitol Hill and have a conversation there. Go ahead, again.
So check this out. We're not Kamala Harris sympathizer. I didn't really care for her too much. I didn't know what she was for the administration. No disrespect to the liberals. And people there protesting for what? I see no reason for it. It just seems hilarious for people to get mad at somebody who basically didn't do 100% of her job. You know what I mean? And a lot of people want to understand, let's not be emotional about who you pick and thinking they're going to do what you think they're going to do. No matter what president comes into office, vice president, somebody's going to get hurt by decisions they make. Somebody's going to benefit from it. It's clear common sense. So they're protesting for what? I don't know. She's not our president. Donald J. Trump. And I've even forgot who's the vice president. The white boy from Kentucky, whatever his name is.
J.D. Vance, man.
See, JD so fast quiet. He seemed like he more quiet than Kamala. Cause we when Kamala was a VP, we said, hey, why you not doing anything? Because we knew about Kamala, but the thing is, she ain't doing anything. The same thing because of JD Vance. We'll go back to Kamala Harris and everything. Like I said, she's on book tours. You know, she's talking about her time going to and her being a vice president and everything. And the thing is, I think she's doing a few more stops and everything. And this is what it comes to you as, you know, even though you lost, you know, and people want you to probably run again in 2028 and everything, you know, people, you know, it just shows that a lot of people, when it comes to liberals, they still support Kamala Harris, and also when it comes to the protest, when it comes to the Palestine, even though Trump did sign a deal. The thing is, even though, you know, Trump signed a peace deal and everything, a lot of people are still going. And the thing is, and I say this a lot in LA when it comes to Palestine, even though the deal is done, people are protesting because people should have lost too many lives and everything. And people will continue to protest that on and on and on. But when it comes to Kamala, man, I do kind of feel for her that she got every book signings. You know, there's always got to be a protest about Palestine or something like that, and and they want her to do something about it, but she ain't the president. You know, people got to get in their heads. You know, that Kamala Harris, she's not in the politics right now. She's doing her book right now to sell that off, and that's it. She's not a politician. It seems like she might not go back, and that's it. You know, if you guys are liberal when it comes to Democrats, in the next, worry about your next midterm election and also the next presidential election. That's all you got to do.
Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on Facebook, Instagram, Kid, and also Twitch. Make sure you follow. So very important you guys to follow us so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to those right now watching us on Rumble, and also shout out to those right now watching us on TikTok and also Bingo Live. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Like always, shout out to Mike Anderson that was in the building. Jordan O'Hearn, blessed be upon you. Evelyn that was also in the building. Donna, who's also in the building. Why High to the High was also in the building. Shout out to Hart, who's also in the building. Shout out to those of all 100 of you guys watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Guys, also very, very, very important. You go to Chaos Culture Radio description. In the description where you can find the Chaos Culture Radio gear, where we have the Chaos Culture Radio merch. And also the link is also pinned on top of the chat. That way we have the Chaos Culture Radio t-shirt, the hat, the coffee mug, you name it. It's all in the Chaos Culture Radio description and also pinned on top of the chat. I'm only saying that for the viewers watching us on TikTok and also Bingo Live. You guys want to go ahead and cop the merch. And also, guys, so very important, go to Chaos Culture Radio community post or community tab, what they used to call it. That way we leave all important information that when we resume back on the live each and every day. And also Prince King book, Raising King, and also back up. And also his album that's out now. He's working on a new album before his birthday drop in December, so guys be on the lookout. I listen to some of the music. It is fire, guys. It is fire. It is fire. You guys do not want to miss the second album. But first, you got to copy the first album because it's a continuation of the second one, of the first one. Yeah. So it's like a part two. So guys, it's very important to go and check it out. Like also, guys, we thank you guys so much for supporting the platform, all the new subscribers, all the new listeners. Thank you guys so very much. I'm making Chaos Culture Radio the biggest thing on the planet. Like always, thank you for tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio Fresh Start Monday.